And welcome back to Green Tiger Claw Productions, and welcome to a new merch review. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but, oh, pardon me. I felt like picking up a figure and doing an actual review of it. And as you can see, today we are having a look at the Super7 Godzilla Minus One reaction figure. The charging variant, or the atomic breath variant, as I like to call it. So Super7 does this line called reaction figures, and what they are essentially kind of like a blast from the past. You know the just a minute. You know these guys, the DC Superpowers line that Todd McFarlane does. Yeah. Well, hang on just a minute. There we go. Yeah, well, you know those figures and how they're kind of like callbacks to, like, you know, older figures from like the, I want to say, late 70s, early 80s. Yeah. You know, very simple figures. Well, you know, these, the reaction line, very similar idea. It's a callback to, you know, earlier, you know, simpler figures from, you know, an earlier, simpler time, you know. Although I'm not familiar with figures like this, I'm a 90s / early 2000s kid, so I, you know, but I think it's a pretty neat line, pretty neat idea. As you can see, yes, we're having a look at, once again, the charging variant of the -1 Godzilla. Yeah, I just felt like doing this guy because, well, I'm in a Godzilla kind of mood. I've been in a Godzilla kind of mood lately. So, in fact, I've been in a giant monster kind of mood in general. I recently picked up, what is it? Rampage. Which one was it? Rampage Universal Tour for PS1. Yeah. Yeah, that was the one I recently picked up. But I just remembered I picked this guy up a while back and thought, yeah, why not? Let's have a look at him. So, yeah. So, first and foremost, I have seen Godzilla Minus One, and I did like it quite a bit. I still like Shin Godzilla quite a bit better, but you know, Minus One was a good movie. Godzilla himself is terrifying in Minus One. Cannot wait for -0, but yeah, bottom line, I did like the movie. So getting on subject of the figure, there's the face, very Heisei looking. Of course, his teeth are a bit simpler. Yeah, once again, while this particular Godzilla design is newer, you know, he's supposed to be a callback to, you know, a more vintage style figure. But you can see all this detail, like all the bumps and like crocodile-like scoots on the skin. Spectacular. He's got those little spikes on the arms. Claws, yeah, look great. Nice look on the shoulders there. Just detail crammed all around, you know. See his little scoots back here. Got the dorsal fins there. Once again, this is the charging atomic breath version. So, you know, his dorsal fins are shooting up, and, you know, they're doing that thing, you know, right before they come back down, and he fires off his atomic breath. See, he's got the blue glow in his mouth there. There is detail in the mouth. You see there on the roof of his mouth, there. That's really nice. Yeah. Yeah. Dorsal fins, I think, look great. They're actually kind of sharp down here. I'd be careful, because, you know, you can't cut yourself open, but, you know, you can poke yourself on these. Nice detail on the tail. His skin has that I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of a diseased kind of look that he had in the movie. I like this part here where his pecs are they have this kind of, I'm not sure what that color is, or what you'd call it, but, you know, it's kind of a beige kind of color. Of course, blue in his mouth and for the dorsal fins. Nice look on the eyes. Once again, they have that Heisei look. I just like how angry he looks. Off-white for the teeth. Even like how they got a little pink for the mouth membrane here. Not as neat on the blue over here, but, you know, what really can you do? He's cast in this kind of dark brown plastic, kind of matching the color he was in the movie. Same off-white for the nails, it looks like. Kind of a grayish beige here for the toe claws. I just like that digitigrade look his feet actually have. Reminds me very much of Shin Godzilla. Yeah, basically, the design is kind of like they took the Heisei Godzilla, which at this point is kind of the definitive version of Godzilla nowadays. They took the Heisei Godzilla and kind of mixed it with Shin Godzilla a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, I picked up this version because I thought it was rarer. It turns out, I would later find out that Super7 does variants like this all the time. So, you know, he's got a bit of heft to him. He's not really a light figure. Yeah, but I think he does look great. You know, he's a nice desk piece. Posability. Being a callback to an earlier day, being a callback to earlier figures, he doesn't have a lot. His head rotates all the way around. His arms, not all the way around. They kind of get, the thumbs kind of get caught here, but, you know, arms do rotate. And then the legs, ooh, the legs are stiff. Legs are very stiff. Yeah, but the legs do rotate as well. And the tail rotates as well. The tail seems a bit stubby, but apparently Super 7 does that all the time. So once again, to kind of give it that vintage look. Once again, to kind of give it that vintage figure look, they make the tails stubby on their Godzillas mostly. Size comparison. Hang on just a bit. I know I really should prepare for this stuff, but I also happen to pick up this guy on the same day, the Heisei Mecha Godzilla, because I just liked the look of him as well. I think these two go quite well together. Godzilla's a bit taller, but you know, not much can be done about that. Yeah. You know, to kind of give you an idea of, you know, how exactly this guy scales, here's a there's a Godzilla Evolved by Playmates. Yeah, these guys are not terribly large, but once again, they're you know, these kind of figures from back in the day, they weren't very large. They yeah. Yeah, and I like the articulation too. It's much like a Bandai vinyl. So, once again, Godzilla, not a very mobile creature. So, I mean, pretty much all he does is walk. So, yeah. I will say this. The Super 7 reaction line, it seems a bit overpriced to me. They go for, like, I got both these guys, they were both $25. I kind of think that's highway robbery, but yeah. But I mean, these guys, this guy, not you yet, yeah, this guy, for what he is, I do think he's a nice figure overall. Yeah. Of course, he's not the first Godzilla figure Super 7 has done in their reaction line. They've also obviously done the older Godzilla designs, you know, from like the Showa and Heisei eras. Yeah. Yeah, pretty nice little figure for what he is. He makes a nice little display piece for like your desk or so. Yeah. But the price may be a bit much for you for such a tiny little thing like this. But you know, he's more a collectible, not something for Junior. So yeah, if you like what you see here, yeah, go ahead and snatch him right up. Once again, there's two versions of him. This is the charging version I have here, and then there's just the bare bones version where, you know, his dorsal fins are retract. They're not glowing blue and his mouth is closed. I think there's also another one where he's got a train in his mouth, like in the movie. Spoilers for the movie if you hadn't seen it, but yeah. Also, go watch Godzilla Minus One. It's a great movie. Once again, I still like Shin Godzilla a tiny bit better, but But yeah, Godzilla Minus One, fantastic film. Yeah. And if you're intrigued by what you see here, yeah, sure, pick them up. So this is Green Tiger Claw Productions with Godzilla and Mecha Godzilla. And I'm going to sign off here before things get violent. See you next time.